Hey YouTube, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever time it is, morning, whatever time it is with you. Okay, so listen, today's story time. I got a story time today. So, I don't think Lily ever heard the story of how the dogs broke my ankle. Say hi, Lily.
Hi.
We're going bowling today with the church. It should be a good time had by all. Anyway, so today's story time, I'm going to tell you about the time that my dogs broke my ankle. Okay. It was 4th of July about, I'm going to say it was about 3 years ago. It was about 3 years ago. What grade were you in when I had the cast on my ankle? 8th? 9th?
I think it was 9.
9th. So it was about 2.5 years ago. Alright, so I broke my right ankle, but this was the second time I broke it. The first time I broke it was like a year before that. Maybe a year and a half before that. I had broke it, the right ankle. I was at work, it was dark outside. I walked across the street, there was no yellow line. I was in a crosswalk, it was raining, the lights were off. It was daylight savings time about to change. So it was still dark out. I walked down the crosswalk. Next thing you know, I was laying down in the crosswalk. And my principal was looking down at me talking about, "Are you okay?" It's like, no, I'm not okay. I'm laying down in the ground. So I got up and I limped to my classroom, which was all the way at the other end of the hallway. So when we took my boot off, and I asked one of my students to go and tell the nurse I need an ice pack and some alcohol swabs because my legs were all scratched up, my knees were all scratched up. When I took my boot off, my ankle instantly swelled up. It swelled up like a balloon, and I couldn't get the shoe back on. So she came back down there, and she came down to my classroom. She was like, "Oh my God, we gotta have a incident report." She filled out an incident report of how I feel, and she was like, "You got to get out the building now. You got to go to the hospital and get your ankle checked out." Well, I went to the hospital. I stayed at the hospital all day long, and they ain't do nothing. And about 4:30, they gave me a shot. They put a soft cast on me and told me to come back in 2 days when my ankle, the swelling go down at my ankle, because they need to put a hard cast on that. And I wore a hard cast for 8 weeks. They took it off. They said my ankle was fine. Well, about 2 years later, 4th of July, I had ran down from my sister's house to my house to grab me a shower and bring the dogs in from outside because it was too hot for them to be outside all day by themselves. Guess what happened? They saw a rabbit and they started running. They started running across the yard. Okay, so you know the dogs, they're about what, 65 pounds a piece?
If.
They might be bigger than that. So they started running across the yard, and I was holding on to the dogs so they wouldn't get away. And they was dragging me through the yard, and they drugged me in a hole, and I twisted my ankle. All I know is I woke up, and when I stood up, my ankle was dangling. So I got up and I wiped the dirt off me. I got the dogs in the house. I got up and I wiped the dirt off of me. And I limped out to my car. And I limped in the house. And my sister was looking at my leg, and she was like, "What the hell wrong with your ankle?" I was like, "The dogs drugged me. They saw a rabbit and they decided to chase the rabbit. And they drugged me, and I fell in a hole. And when I fell in a hole, I twisted my ankle, and I heard it go snap." She was like, "Your leg don't look good. That thing look like it's broken." I was like, "I'm gonna be okay. Hand me that bare feet wine. Hand me that Moscato. I want some of that. Or hand me a Corona." She was like, "Hell no, not until we take you to the hospital and look at your ankle." I was like, "But we cooking food. We about to have a party. I'm not gonna miss the party." She She's like, yeah, the hell you are. We going to the ER. Get in the car. So she drove me down to Augusta, to the VA in Augusta. Get down there, and they're like, oh my God, your ankle is broken. And it was broke in the exact same spot it was broke the first time. My sister was looking at me like, this a damn shame. It's a sin and a shame. And you know it's 18 years between me and Mommy. She complained about driving my car all the way there and all the way back. This little ass car, this little egg. I can't believe you go down there and break your ankle on 4th of July. And it's your driving foot. And you making me drive in Augusta. You know I don't like driving in Augusta. But it was hilarious. So, that's the story of how the dogs broke my ankle the second time. And then after that, it was a year on a cast. Walking boot, soft walking boot. One of them soft casts, them air casts, you know, the ones, the big ones. I had a year on that. And then they finally did surgery in February. No, was it February or January? January or February. And they did surgery on my ankle. And I walked around with a cast on for what? Another 10 weeks? Because I was on the scooter. Then they took the cast off, put the stitches on, and put another hard cast on there. It was ridiculous. I had a worse problem with my right ankle. But guess what? I think they're going to have to do the same surgery they did on my right ankle on my left ankle now. Because the doctor said she wanted to do it when she did it. But the left ankle, when I walk now, all you hear is pop, pop, pop. I think it's about to... I'm just praying when we go bowling today that I don't get hurt. Because I don't think you'd be up to driving all the way to Augusta. How the hell will I explain that to your mom?
Oh, God. You better be telling me some directions.
She'll be like, you let Lily drive the hell to Augusta? Are you crazy? But anyway, yeah. So that's when the dog broke my ankle. It was fun. That's when I fell in the yard too. Remember it was raining that night?
Yeah, you told me that.
I told you about the night I fell in the yard and the lightning struck me and I woke up and I had been laying out in the yard for a minute because the lightning struck me between the crutches and the hot fence for the dog, and I couldn't get out the fence. I was stuck in a hot fence laying outside in the rain. It's one of my leg didn't mold in that cast. Ew, that was a hot mess. That's when Miss Tracy had to come all the way from over in Johnston to come see about me. She was like, are you okay? She drove an hour to make sure I was okay. I was like, I'm fine. The dogs are gone. And I'm stuck in the fence. Oh, God. Those dogs. That's someone that I need to get rid of them, don't I? But I love them so much.
They be trying to run away on their own.
They do, but they're... No. Nope. Not no more. Not no more. May be like standing at the door talking about meow, meow. Sound like a cat scratching at the door. I'm like, you know you're a dog, right? A big dog. Meow. And then her mom will come and push out the way, talk about woo. Like, come open the door, lady, and let us in. So they like coming in, and then they go into these cages I got in the kitchen. These big cages. And they ball up like a little teeny ball. They love their cages. Anyway, so that's the story of how the dogs broke my ankle. Like, share, and subscribe. Thumbs up or thumbs down, it don't matter. Just subscribe. You know what I'm saying? I love you all. And to all, a good night.